Hey, everyone! Has the island life on Animal Crossing New Horizons become stale for you? Do you sometimes decide to play and yet completely ignore the villagers you had worked so hard to get when the game was released? If you answered yes to both of these questions, well, I'm not here to provide any solution to deal with that, because I'm definitely going through the same thing. I still find myself playing though, especially the Happy Home Paradise DLC, but it just gets hard to put the same amount of time into the game now as I did 3 years ago. But see, I still love the franchise, as Animal Crossing on the GameCube was one of the very first video game I've put my little alien hands on as a kid. One thing for sure, no matter how bored you can get with your island and the routine of the game, you just can't help but love the cute villagers, even if you stopped talking to them 14 months ago and counting. Today I've decided I'd show some love for characters in the franchise in my own way. So buckle up for some more gijinkas, because this is what we're doing, once again. I've made a small list of characters I thought would be fun to draw as humans, and then put them up on wheelofnames.com to let fate choose what would be the 2 final picks. And as it turns out, I had to respin and shuffle the names a few times because the wheel would always stop on the same exact area. I'd always end up with names that were side by side for some reason, so definitely keep that in mind if you plan on using the website. Now let's see the results. Yay! We got some super cute villagers. Alright, so here is the main idea. In New Horizons, when you own the amiibo cards of villagers and scan them, you get in your catalog a poster of that character that you can order and put in your in-game house. The posters have the same picture you get in the picture frame they'll give you when you reach the maximum level of friendship with them, only bigger. And I thought it would be fun to redraw these posters, with them as humans. First up, we have Sasha. Not gonna lie, I was super happy to get to draw him. My all-time favorite villager ever since I was a kid had always been Bob, but the moment Sasha was first shown it has become a very close tie between the two. He's just so cute. It's actually not the first time I've drawn Sasha as a human. The first time was back in 2021, shortly after he had been announced. So I'm kinda going off of that design I made back then since I still like how it looks. I think I made him just a bit rounder in the face this time around, which is pretty fitting for him. The pose he's doing is super cute and was pretty easy to recreate on a human character, thankfully. Looking back on some of my other pics, some of the poses could have looked awkward within the frame of the poster in a human form. I do still want to draw some more of them though, maybe I just won't recreate the poster, I'm not sure yet. I've seen that some other people while drawing Sasha as a human made his hair both turquoise and blonde, but I decided to have them just be completely blonde. I'm only now noticing I didn't really include the turquoise of the rest of his fur anywhere in his design. But there's nothing I can do about it now, I guess. Maybe just imagine he has some cute earrings of that color under his hair, since he loves fashion so much. Something I really love about him is that he is the first and for now only male villager that has fashion as one of his hobbies. Which means sometimes you'll see him walk around with accessories like glasses, a hat, or a handbag. Again, not to repeat myself too much, but that's just so cute. I'd love to see the franchise do more of these things, where things don't have to be so gendered all the time. It's a nice step forward. As you can see here, I was struggling a bit with the hair. It was starting to look just a bit too much like a bowl cut at that point for my taste. I tried to make it look less rounded everywhere by adding some stray hair here and there, occasionally looking back on my old drawing to see how I did it back then. I left it like that for a while, but went back to work on it some more later because, again, it was too reminiscent of a bad bowl cut still. I switched to work on some details of the face, which really helps me guide me through the steps of a drawing usually. If I know the face is looking good and mostly finished, it makes it easier for me to let go and focus on other parts. Otherwise, I just can't focus properly for some reason. The hand would have gone a lot smoother if I just resigned myself to use a reference to start with. But as usual, I guess I prefer struggling first. At the very least, I did use a picture of my own hand for the other one as I started working on it. So of course the process was a lot faster for that one. From there, the most difficult parts were pretty much done, so all I had left to do was finish the jacket, which was definitely the least exciting part. Rendering clothes is just something I don't enjoy unless it has some fun intricate designs like lace and textures. It's always a struggle of finding the perfect balance of color blocking and details when a clothing design is simple to begin with. But it is what it is, and in the end I think the jacket still looks great. I went ahead and added some finishing touches to make sure everything looks neat. I also finished the background and added some textures and color adjustments to the final piece to give it a more finished look. And voila! My rendition of Sasha as a human. It was such a nice piece to work on. Cute characters will always be the best and most fun to draw. Now let's get started on Felicity. While the way I drew Sasha was more in my regular style, I had a precise idea for what I wanted with Felicity. Something about her design reminds me a lot of Osamu Tezuka's art. If you didn't know, Osamu Tezuka is the creator of Astro Boy and many other pieces of media. I love the way he draws faces, especially eyes. They're so cute and easily recognizable. So I thought it could be fun to give the drawing a retro twist, something inspired by his art. So I did my best to make something both in my style but also inspired by his. It definitely was a really fun challenge. I do wonder if she was originally designed with that in mind, or just a retro vibe in general. I tried to find information on that, but all I could find was that she's apparently into older men like Tortimer. Well, the more you know. Though I wish I could have lived without that knowledge. But maybe it does confirm my theory? Older guys hence old stuff, hence retro. There are dots to connect here. I hesitated on whether or not I should do some actual line art for this, but in the end decided to just go ahead and put all the base colors and see how it goes from there, which is pretty much my go-to art motto at this point. I darkened the sketch and then started the rendering process on top of it, starting of course with the eyes. They're basically what's going to make or break the vibe I'm going for, so I wanted to play around with them first. Usually I try to avoid using black straight away, but this time around I figured it's what would look the best if I want to get the retro look. Plus her eye color is actually black, so there wasn't really a way around it. While drawing, I had references of Osamu Tezuka's works open on my phone for me to study them at the same time. One thing I noticed is that the shading in general is kept to a minimum, so no need to start fussing over small details. I was also looking at what colors he and other mangakas from that period typically used for the skin shading, and I noticed it was often in shade of yellow. I myself tend to go for red and pink for shading the skin, so it was fun to try something else. I just realized as I'm editing that Felicity's design also reminds me of something else. It's so obvious to me now, I don't know how I didn't realize earlier. You know those Japanese chocolate candies? Milky? And their mascot, Pikachu? She was created back in the 50s. So I have to be right about this whole retro thing. I know it's just the eyes that look kinda similar, but that's still something, right? Here I added on another art program the texture of her dress, and it really helps making the drawing already look more finished. I hesitated for a second on giving her another highlight in her eyes, but quickly gave up on that. It didn't feel like a necessity. Now all I needed to do was finish the background with those cute flowers. Of course, me being me, I also played around with the color values a bunch. Decided to add some random bits of highlight here and there in her hair and some adjustments on her dress. And finally, I was able to let go. Here's the final result. What do you think? I'm pretty happy with it. Some part of me wishes I had done some actual line art, but this is okay, too. At the very least, I was able to draw her exactly how I imagined her, and it's such a rare thing to accomplish for me, so I'm glad. Here are the two drawings with their original poster side by side for comparison. Which one was your favorite? I honestly can't really pick one. I feel like they're too different to compare. That was honestly so much fun for me, so I hope you enjoyed watching it too. Let me know if you want to see more Animal Crossing characters turned into humans in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked the video, and see you soon for more gijinkas.